We're beginning a series of videos. The next, I think, 6 or 7 videos will tackle the top challenges that dads have. Over the last several years, we've interviewed dads, we've gotten surveys, we've done face-to-face interviews, and we've had thousands, literally thousands of answers to this question. What are the single greatest challenges you face as a father? What are the single greatest challenges you face as a father? And so we've had thousands of answers to that question, and we hear the same themes over and over and over again. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 7 of those top challenges and kind of bite them off one at a time over the next 7 videos. And we're gonna walk you through some biblical and scriptural ways to address those challenges. It's kind of funny, Corey is helping me shoot these videos, and our biggest challenge today was finding a place to shoot the video. A storm ripped through Louisville last night, and there was even a tornado sighting. And so trees are down everywhere, roads are closed, traffic lights are out. And so our big challenge this morning was finding a place to shoot this video. I drove past a house on our way here, and their big challenge is the fact that about a quarter of their house is smashed in from a tree that fell over. And so just like life, sometimes we find ourselves on a Monday with one challenge, and then on a Tuesday with a whole new challenge because a storm ripped through. And so a lot of dads tell us about these challenges. So let's talk about some of these challenges, and let's talk about scriptural ways we can handle them. The big #1 challenge we hear all the time is about allocating limited time. Dads tell us all the time that their biggest challenge is figuring out in a given day or a given week or a given month how to allocate their time. They got a job, they are married, they have multiple children, and they're always seeing their life as this kind of pie chart of time, and they don't know quite how to carve it up, or they carve it up and they feel like they've carved it up incorrectly, or they've not given enough time to this thing, or they've given too much time to that thing. And here's how they say it. And we're gonna kind of follow this pattern in a lot of these videos. Is I want you to hear the words of these dads. I went back through our old surveys. Dad said it like this. One dad said, with a big family and even bigger obligations, time is a hard commodity to come by. Another dad said, I feel as if I'm not able to spend enough intentional time with my kids. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, famously says that he will spend about an hour every day simply staring out of a window so that he can think and process. It's kind of funny. I mentioned that story to my wife, and her response, literally, she just goes, you know, it's good to be the king. Okay, that's fair, that's fair. Warren does have command over his finances and doesn't need to report to a boss, so to speak. But think of it on the flip side. This is a guy who literally tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people would clamor to find 5, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour of this guy's time. Like, he could meet with anybody he wants to meet with. Presidents of countries, celebrities, owners, CEOs. He has an unlimited amount of potential obligations for his time. Yet, he finds time to prioritize thinking, being calm, and considering his options. Psalm 90:12 says it this way. So teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom. There's something to knowing and understanding our finiteness and our limited amount of time that actually gives us a heart of wisdom. Luke 12:34 and 35 says something that we often connect only to money, but I think applies very well to time. Verse 34 says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. But verse 35, and if you keep reading, goes on to talk about, it says, stay dressed for action and keep your lamps burning. There's this sense in which what Luke is trying to convey in these verses through the power and inspiration of the Holy Spirit is that we have finite resources, money, time. We have finite resources, and our diligent use of those resources is of utmost importance. And so, dads, I know you have a challenge of allocating your limited time. The danger in that is that we allow that difficulty of allocation to squeeze out some things that are extremely important for our soul and our priorities, which leads us right to this week's mission. This week's mission. I have a friend who has for years talked about wanting to write a book. And I finally told him, look, man, don't talk to me anymore about wanting to write a book until you're gonna come to me with what is the thing in your calendar you're gonna remove to create space so you can find time to write the book. Because your problem is not that you aren't writing the book. Your problem is that you're living wall to wall with 50, 60 hours of work and 20 hours of coaching and 30 hours of being a dad. You know, your life is too full to squeeze one more thing in. So right now for you, the book is just a pipe dream. It's a pipe dream. It's like me wanting to go to outer space. It's just not gonna happen until you remove something. So Dad, here's my challenge for you. If you feel like allocating limited time, you see your life, it's a pie chart, and you got this much time for work, and this much time for kids, this much time for marriage, this much time for fantasy football management, whatever you put in your pie chart. Here's my challenge for you. Something in that pie chart probably needs to come out. I don't know what it is, but you know what it is, or you'd like to know what it is, or your wife would love for you to discover what that thing is. There's something you probably want to try to wedge in. There may be a new thing you want to take on, but in order to do that, the number of hours a day isn't going to get any bigger. So what we're going to need to do is figure out how are we going to carve out a piece of our pie. So what is your challenge this week, your mission? What is one thing this week that you could kind of scratch your chin about and look at your pie chart of life and go, that needs to go. That needs to go. Instead of playing 7 hours of tennis every week, maybe you need to play 2 hours of tennis every week. And those other 5 need to go to that home project or that child who's kind of wavering in their faith and you need to spend more time with them. Whatever that might be, look at the pie chart of your week and decide this week to allocate limited time better. What is one thing I could pull out of my pie and chuck overboard? I pray that you will do this. And I pray you will do it because you are not a father on accident. So go be a father on purpose.